If
Go
you don't
ahead.
mind, if you don't mind, really quick, you said something there that caught my attention. Can you give a like just a brief summary of like what is this construction 246 like what the
Construction
core
246. So,
program? Yeah.
yeah, so this is the second course in the BIM program. We've got an AutoCAD course, and this is a Revit course. So intro to Revit. Um, we don't have. I've been teaching here now since 2018, so
Hmm.
it's 8 years now. I've been fighting tooth and nail since I got here to start teaching a Navisworks program so we could actually have, kind of a three-part where we transition from a little bit of AutoCAD into Revit, Revit into, learning about some more of MEP trades instead of just, some architectural and basic, house building.
Yeah,
And
right.
then as well as here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll stop my share real quick. Anyone that comes in online, let me just check real quick. Is Charlie here? Charlie, you are here. And George, I don't see George. I don't see Anthony. And I don't see Lauren. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop my share and you can go for it, Brett. So here, let me do that. Yeah, so this is an intro to BIM kind of course. We're learning Revit. We've been striving again to get a Navis course where we'd actually have some clash detection and that kind of stuff. More real world examples of stuff that I
Right.
do daily. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah,
That's
take it away. It's all yours, and yeah.
that's great. That's great. Boy, this is just so interesting. It takes me way back, 1993. I'm super excited to hear you're still teaching AutoCAD as an organization personally.
You are excited to hear that?
Yes, that
Okay.
it's not just being pushed off like it doesn't exist anymore
No,
because
I
it
teach
does.
I teach a fall and a spring semester of AutoCAD, and I actually only have one quarter or quarters, right? And then I've got one quarter of Revit.
Yeah,
So
perfect. Perfect. I
trying
think
to
that's a
build
great
that last
mix.
quarter into like a Navisworks where we'd have like a three-part series so that you could kind of, go through intro to, basic AutoCAD stuff, take what you've learned there, transition it to Revit, and then start, you know, the
That's
back
awesome.
half of this, which is okay, now we've modeled something. How do we get this constructible with all the other trades,
Yeah,
right?
right. Like how do you get to that place, right? Like to this
Exactly.
place, right? Exactly. Awesome. Well, I'm just going to introduce our company real quick, and then I'd love to have just a conversation about virtual construction, BIM, and anything else along those lines.
Sure. Sounds
It's,
great.
yeah, this can be fun. All right. So, just real quick here. So we are Modern Construction Services. We were started in 2014. We're a woman-owned enterprise. Um, we strictly provide BIM services to, well, right down here at the bottom of the screen. Our clients are typically owners, engineers, general contractors, and MEP contractors, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing contractors. We have, man, in the 11, 12 years we've been in business, we work in hospitals, lab and research facilities, high-rise residential, Class A office, manufacturing, municipal buildings. I mean, you name it. We might be doing them all right this second. Actually, we're so busy. So that's it's really nice. We get a super wide variety of project types. We've done jobs on the upper right here for companies like Daimler and Victaulic and Nike World Headquarters, Milwaukee Tool, Facebook. These are, names people recognize. University of Washington, University of Cincinnati, University of Kentucky, University of Oregon, Princeton University. We work all across the country. The majority of our work currently is in the Northeast, and actually all across the country. Now that I think about it, we're a little bit everywhere. Um, Local here in the Seattle area, we're in Oregon, we're in uh, Ohio, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Philadelphia. Yeah, just all over the place. We
So
have,
real quick, Brett. So just
yeah.
one of the
Mhm.
advantages of this industry is you don't need to be on site. You don't need to be anywhere near that project site. I'm working on a project right now, $100 billion project in Boise, Idaho.
Oh, I know that job.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet you do. I bet you do.
Yeah. Ah,
So anyhow,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I mean, I work from home. You could work in a Seattle office. You can work in a Bellingham office. It doesn't matter where you're located, as long as there's an connection that's solid, you can work. And that's one of the huge advantages of this BIM field is you're not is contractors such as yourself are not restricted to, okay, I got to mobilize to this location and build this
exactly.
building. Okay, well now we're stuck in just the Northwest area. You're
Correct.
saying most of your work's in the Northeast. It's all because of remote. It's all
Yep.
because of the ability to collaborate with people via the internet. And I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest.
Well, it's surely a plus. There are some well, we'll get to that part later.
Yes, there are.
There are some drawbacks,
Sure.
and training is a little bit difficult in that regard. But here we are. You're going to Edmonds, and we're all right here in Mercer Island, so we're all close to each other. That's a plus. So yeah, woman-owned business. Been in business since 2014. We work. I'm sure it sounds like Graham's experience is you get exposure to that his experience every single class, and the kind we're working on all of those same kind of jobs. The difference is it's just everywhere. That's actually kind of a trend in the industry right now that everybody's kind of working everywhere. It's a really interesting time in this world. What I want to talk about real quick is Graham said something a second ago about project management, and I gotta say, I think really engaged, really proactive BIM professionals spend a lot of time in the project management world. I think that this industry is a great training ground and or exposure, uh, um, a place for exposure to the entire construction process, from design into into construction, and seeing all of the document control and document management and everything that goes along with it in order to achieve final shop drawings and or installation and TCO, etc. We work often our job. We oftentimes will work in the design phase. We will oftentimes our jobs will only be involved in the construction phase. But what we really do is this big dash circle in the middle is connect the design phase and the construction phase to create a buildable solution.
I think you're driving your Navis in the background.
Whoops.
I don't know
Whoop.
how that's going on.
Oh, it's a video. Yeah, it's a video. Was it, could you actually see it through the
I could
presentation?
see it, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Is that better?
Yeah,
Uh, I didn't full screen my presentation because I wanted to be able to pull stuff on if somebody had a question without
gotcha.
stopping, without doing that. So anyway, yeah, the BIM world, it is, if you really pour your heart and soul into the BIM world, there is a huge, like you get to see a lot of the world, a lot of the construction world. And I think just having the tools of Revit and AutoCAD and the basics of construction management and construction technology in general, you can open the door into a huge, huge opportunity related to construction. And the fun part of construction, because my fingers are like not calloused and dirty because I don't have to do it in the field. You get to do all the fun stuff of building things, but it's all virtual. So that's where we live. We live in this big orange circle in the middle. You can see here, there's RFIs in here, submittals in here, document management in here, BIM execution plans, new technologies constantly creeping up. And we use all of those things in order to deliver our products. Let's see. Oops. Here we go. I put this, this is a slide I've used many years, but I kind of leave this slide into these presentations because um, come across this slide many years ago. But the whole goal, like when you talk about construction industry today, um, the company Graham works for, and a lot of our clients are oftentimes brought in to solve this problem, which is the red curve is the traditional plans and specs. You get there too late, and you've got to get a building modeled and get it built, on a ridiculous timeline. Where we're all working, or the majority of us are working these days, is back here in the BIM, IPD, design assist, heavy design assist. Like, we're all involved in this market and pretty heavily in the BIM world. In the pre-construction world, we're working for design firms and construction teams. We're on teams where we're partnering between the two. So one of the things that's interesting about that to me, if, for example, some of you see yourselves as a future architect or a future anything in the construction industry, I believe that the BIM world gives you the opportunity to see the kinds of things that occur in documentation that will make you a better architect or engineer in the future. A really good example is very often architects will put 3.5 inch framed walls all around the building, and they'll have 4 inch waste pipes in them. 3.5 is smaller than 4, and oftentimes you'll get out into the field and you realize that it doesn't work. So those are the kinds of things that we can resolve as a part of the BIM process with the right approach. And the goal would be to solve those things back here in the virtual phase and not in the construction phase when things are built and there's a lot of money to be wasted. So it's just an interesting trend. And I think honestly, this green wave, if you think about it from BIM people, this wave is much bigger than it looks. It's when I started doing this in 93, I was just telling somebody this the other day, there was probably 5% of the jobs had CAD drawings, virtual construction, that wasn't called BIM at the time. Very small percentage of the work included this kind of technology in use. I would say at this particular point, we've swung the other direction. There's probably 15% of jobs that aren't using these tools and
I,
skills and processes.
anything that's over a couple $1 million,
Yeah,
you guarantee to have some type of BIM or
yeah,
virtual coordination, virtual construction involved.
absolutely. Yep. So the trend is which is interesting because when I talk to a lot of community colleges, they're canceling their CAD and BIM programs. So thankfully you guys are still there. I think North Seattle might have canceled theirs.
Oh no.
So yeah, yep. That's where Adam and I both graduated from North. Mine long
Who
before
did?
Adam's. Adam and myself. I
Adam and you
graduated from
both.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
right
yeah. I
on. Cool.
graduated in '93 from North from a CAD AutoCAD program there. So
Awesome. Great.
yep, yeah.
You know Steven Simmons?
Adam actually went. That was Adam's instructor at North.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he was mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a degree in architectural engineering from North in 2011.
You sure you don't know Adam?
Yeah, that was just a couple of years before me actually when
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
no, Steve Simmons, that's
Amazing
yeah,
teacher. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
great.
I looked into going back there and found out they weren't there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. That's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm gonna just kind of blow through some of this stuff. As I said, this is a presentation that I had prepared and I've used for clients and stuff, but or actually training also. Um, the, I'll just go through it, and then we can talk about it because I'm very curious to understand where all your students like where they fit into the process and or learning the industry itself. So as we've talked, MEP design is a critical piece using BIM, detailing and shop drawings. I don't know if everybody understands the difference between that, but and if anybody's an engineer or an architect or in the professional side of the industry, I apologize in advance. But what we do is we create detailed shop drawings that fit and work in a building, as opposed to what an architect and engineer do, which is generally doesn't include the kind of detail it takes to build a building. And in Graham's world, in the electrical world, it's even worse. They don't even put the pipe on the plan
Hell
in
no.
in electrical drawings. Right? It's not even a thing. They have to actually dream it all up. On the plumbing and piping side, it might just be generally wrong or incomplete. So, it's this part of the industry is, I would say, rather unknown. Having your instructor, I think, is great because you get the exposure to understand that this piece of the industry even exists. Because anybody looking for a CAD or BIM program might be thinking, oh, well, like I said, I want to be an architect, or I want to be a mechanical engineer, or I want to do, I don't know what else you'd do, structural drafting or something. This piece, the construction BIM effort is such a big piece right now, or actually it has been for quite a while, that you'll see. It's nuts. So our primary focus, the majority of our team comes from the mechanical contracting background. I spent 19 and a half years at University Mechanical, most of that time running different divisions of the company, but for the majority of the time I was there running a detailing outfit that did drawings in 2D and 3D, producing fabrication drawings like the ones you see on the screen. But, I'll just what we're trying to do is modularize and package construction execution. So everybody's trying to do. You're trying to get labor off the job sites into shops, into a more controlled environment, saving labor. So these kinds of packages that you see on the screen are the packages that we develop in order to assist in the installation. Don't let anything you see on the screen here scare you about what it is we do. Or even if you were looking at an electrical drawing, um, these are things that we anticipate training interns, new employees on all of the components that you see on the screen. Like these are not, nobody's expected to walk in the door knowing what all of these things are, how they work.
And here's the thing, guys. There's not many contractors that are doing this. Everyone wants 3 to 5 years of experience in the industry and in a specific, sector, right? Electrical, mechanical. They
You have an
want that
excellent point.
experience. They want
Yeah.
you to come in, knowing how this all works, and it's hard to get out of the program and have that experience. And this is one of the, exciting things for me is someone's looking to, help train,
Yep.
which is on the job training. I mean, that's what I've done for the last, 13 years or so, is because I'm not an electrician, but I learned quickly everything about what I needed to know for electrical and BIM. So keep it with a grain of salt, guys.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I'm glad you're here because it's hard to get that message across to some
It
people.
it really
It's
is.
it's one of the things when we started the business, we wanted to do was provide opportunities, a door into the industry that a lot of people weren't getting. I stumbled into the industry in a strange way, but as I went into the industry further and further, as I was in the industry longer, you could see that there wasn't a lot of doors for people to enter into it.
There
And what
aren't.
we're looking for is people that are excited about the construction industry, about BIM, about AutoCAD, about Revit, and you wake up and you're like, I can't wait to do more of this stuff. This is what we're looking for. We're not looking for anything else. You don't have to have 5 years experience. We need somebody that understands AutoCAD, understands what XREFs are, understands how to set up sheets in Revit. And if you don't understand them now, we are looking for people that are excited to figure it out and learn and and drive your own knowledge and interest and capabilities. So that guy's running there. Let me just do this real quick. Adam is one of our partners. He graduated from North, like I said, in what year was that, Adam? Oh, 2014. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Prasamira and another person came to us in that 2014 class from North Seattle.
Great.
And Adam is a partner in the organization now and has been here for the 11 years and is the operations manager. And Adam sold knives before he started doing what he does here. And I got to tell you right now, Adam is probably one of the top content providers in the country when you think about like when you look at these drawings that you see here, all of these are required, you have to have the content in the software in order for the other team members to be able to place them in the model and be able to fabricate from them. So Adam manages all of the content, the virtual content that are the pieces that report in these spools, as well as draws a lot of these things. So it's with interest and desire, there's a lot you can learn here. We
Yeah, there's
want,
a
yeah, go Go.
There's
Yeah.
there's a wide range. Sorry, Brett. Yeah, there's a wide range. I always try to make the point that I mean everyone in this class probably knows that this industry exists, but it's if anybody ever asked you what you were studying, you might have had a hard time describing it. I know I still have a hard time kind of describing what we do on a daily basis, but there's
I play
so
video games for a living.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly. But we, there's some programming, scripting, 3D modeling, problem solving, report building. Like it touches a lot of various interests, which I also find fascinating. Like
And
you're
it's
not here
really
because you're going to
cool.
school to be a programmer, but you can write Dynamo code, you can write Lisp code to do your job more effectively. Like there's just a lot of stuff you can do
So,
with interest.
so real quick, I've got a guy on
For
my
sure.
team that, that's all he really does. And it's, it saves the rest of our team, nightmares. Because we've got a guy that's really good at writing scripts for stuff. We've got a guy that's, we got people that are really good at modeling. There's so many different aspects of this industry and, you know, of what you're doing when you're doing it. Like it's crazy how many different tasks there are to get this modeled and how many different modelers. Like on my project right now, I've got probably over about 125 subcontractors. We've got almost 2,000 detailers.
Yeah.
2,000 people modeling in the same building. So it's it's still not in its infancy, but I mean every year more and more jobs open up in this industry. Um, and we need it. We need people to be in this industry so we can continue to create high quality content. Because without the model, nothing gets built.
Doesn't get built. Yep. It's absolutely true. Yep. Yep. That's let's see here. Let me just see if there was something else I wanted to
Sure.
cover in here. Yeah, that was kind of just that's I cut a couple of images out because it's a lot of the same stuff. As I'm talking to customers and clients, we are oftentimes having presentations and discussions about how we can update databases. We provide database services. We provide customization. I don't know if you guys are using Stratus at Graham, but I mean at your company, Graham, but we do Stratus consulting. So that we do a lot of
Nice.
other things.
Great.
Yeah, but our primary and our core business is virtual construction, providing BIM modeling services like you see in these models. This I think, Graham, you just made another great point here. You look at this model, this federated model, and you see all the different colors, and you see the list on the left-hand side of the screen here.
Like scroll up your selection tree. Every single one of
Yeah,
those links, it may not be a different trade, but it's a
yeah,
different floor of the same trade. But I mean,
yeah,
you're talking, you can get hundreds and hundreds of models
yeah,
in a single project
yeah,
because of how complex things have gotten. Um, it didn't used to be like this, and if you go back to that construction curve that Brett was showing earlier, I mean, everything was on the backside. So you're now installing and then cutting this stuff out so another trade can come in because they need to be there, and then you install elsewhere. It's a nightmare.
yeah,
But having this up front and pre-planned and modeled, and the biggest thing is modeling with intent. I mean, you know, just trying to model. You can have people that model and they just blow through everybody, right? You got to understand what's around you, what you're looking at, and it's such a huge industry that again, it's never going to go away. There's
yeah,
no way we're ever going to build buildings in a way that we did before. It's only going to get stronger.
yep,
Um,
absolutely. And at this particular point right now, we are so busy. Um, just stuff just keeps coming. We didn't think that was going to be the case, but it just keeps coming. And we'd love to get in contact with
so
people like y'all.
perfect. So real quick, just as a curiosity, so I've been obviously in the industry a minute.
Cool.
Um, for most of the time until I would say about 8 months ago when I jumped ship and went to the project I'm working on right now. Everything that we did, not only did we model it, but we created some type of a sheet, a PDF showing what lights get installed where, what this elevation of this strut rack is, right? All the way down.
Yep.
What do you guys do as far as deliverables? Do you have a full set of deliverable requirements, or are people building off the model?
It's a good question. We're hearing people experimenting with very little PDF output.
Okay.
Um,
And that's where I'm at right now. My
yep,
PDF output is literally like my trapeze build sheets,
yep.
my electrical equipment racks, um, and then maybe some drawings just showing some trapeze racks with a few names on it. But for the most part, my everyone on my team is building straight out of the model, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah,
Um,
this sample I have on the screen right now
yeah.
is a, project for a client we work with a lot in New Jersey. They're
Okay.
still a little bit old school. And not that this is old school because but they're still, PDF deliverables.
Okay.
Um, but
Here's what I'm getting at, guys.
yep.
PDF deliverables are the way in. That's
Yes.
you may not know everything you need to model, but you can start detailing drawings, you can start tagging, you can start doing stuff that is providing valuable information without having that modeling experience yet. Um,
Is
so
exactly where we start people. Just
So I have
that's
a question on that. Are you using a Bluebeam set or in order to do that for the PDF?
the
you're
PDF
printing a
is
blue beam, you mean?
managed in Bluebeam,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's
But
what I mean. Are you using the Bluebeam to manage through it for the PDFs?
Once they've come out of Revit. It all gets
right.
modeled. I
Okay.
would assume most things are still modeled in Revit. Are you guys doing a lot of AutoCAD work?
We are doing a lot of AutoCAD work, but we're
Okay.
doing just as much Revit work right now. So
Okay,
yeah,
cool. So
yeah,
both
yeah.
both softwares, you're essentially exporting that, or you're printing it to a PDF, and then
Hmm.
you manage it on the backside, right? Where
Absolutely.
with a file set or whatever. Like here's our, deliverables for the north half of the building. Here's all the plan drawings. Here's your elevation views. Here's you know, your spooling drawings, whatever you have, right?
Right. This is just the core and shell of a hospital we're working on in New Jersey. So this is all the mechanical sheets just for the core and shell of that job.
Perfect.
So just that one discipline. So yeah, we're doing tons and tons of output, PDF output for installation. You make an excellent point. A lot of these, just simple stuff, tags, right? And it's one of the things I think that is lost in the industry. I'm actually having a little bit of email back and forth with Graham earlier today. Some companies are trying to use tradesmen for these kinds of things, and I think these are the kinds of things you need to learn when you're in a
100%.
program. Drafting
100%.
skills, how to organize information, how to lay out information to tell a story and communicate what's being done. Um, it's uh, it's a huge piece, and I think it drives a lot of user repetition, which is what you need with these programs in general. Is you just need a lot of repetition. Creating 440 drawing sheets and annotating and cutting the sections and getting them to display right. You learn a lot about how the programs
Do.
function, and
Absolutely.
you can dance around them, and that becomes uh, second nature, which is what we're all looking for. I use this line quite a bit. These softwares and everything, they're just a tool. They're like the pencil that your grandparents used to do their job, right? It's the
Yep.
pencil. So you got to get to a place where this tool is second nature in every way possible, and that the installation of components is that's the work. The software, using the software is not the job, I guess. Well, it is and it
It
isn't.
is the job, but I mean, it's just the tool to be able to do your job,
There
right?
you go. Thank you.
I
Well
mean,
said. Yes.
and not only are you doing this, right? So we've got this level of involvement where you're producing sheets and deliverables for the field. Here's the one thing: the better your deliverables are, the less issues the field has, the less questions you get on the back end, the faster the install goes.
Yep.
I mean, everything streamlines the process, right? So whether it's via coordinating in Navis, maybe model. I mean, there's so many opportunities in this industry. Um, And like I said earlier, it's never going away. We're not going to go backwards. It's only the only thing that's happening is more and more trades partners are getting on board. Now we've got, stuff that was, very minimally involved. I had a job a few years back where we had a high rise and we had like levels 5 through 26 in this high rise in Bellevue, levels 5 through 26, all had auto tinting glass. And
Oh,
all of that cabling, every single piece of all the controllers, everything was modeled. And
yeah,
it's crazy to see how much extra, all this effort that's going in. Whereas before, someone would just ring and string it and pull it and no one cares, right?
right. Totally.
So
Yeah, I think the other it's going to be hard for me to describe this. Adam probably can describe it better, but even in this world, this is just real quick. If anybody who's looking or paying attention here, this is an AutoCAD sheet setup. So this is a project we're doing in AutoCAD. This is the sheet layout, and this is the in progress annotation apparently. So this is AutoCAD version of that sheet generation. And you're probably, I don't know how far you all are into it.
some of them
But
have taken a full AutoCAD course. Some of them are in their fourth week of Revit.
oh,
So,
okay, perfect.
um,
There you go. Yeah, and so that's a sheet in Revit. So all this is a design sheet, though. This is a job we're doing the design drawings for an engineer, and the other one's a construction installation drawing. So yeah. Um, yeah, I think the other thing I was going to say when you start talking about the how it's going, it's going quickly forward. There's more being done. In the past, 15 years ago, we would draw a line on the paper, say it was a 8-inch chill water supply return line, and pretty much that was the end of it. Today, that same line has to have the exact valve that's supposed to be used, the Victaulic couplings, the drains, the gauges, and everything, because the software that's being used to manage procurement and installation requires that you have all those components in it so they can buy everything once the model is completed, to Graham's point. So
and it's all a quantity takeoff, right? The whole thing is
exactly. Yep.
now, an export to Excel, and here's all your parts and pieces.
Yep. Yep. And you guys, I got to tell you, I did UW Behavioral Health with Corey Clark and your team, and the level of fabrication is absolutely impressive. It's just amazing but all of those components have to get into the model.
They do. And that's why it takes time. That's why it doesn't just happen overnight because you have to have people modeling. You've got to have, and not only modeling, I mean, you've got people modeling, you've got people that are running coordination, you've got people that are building sheets. I mean, it's a big family that we're all working together to create this BIM industry instead of just, okay, I model it and forget it. And that, like you said, back in the day, you'd model a line, call it a 4.5 inch whatever, and walk
Move
away.
on. Yep. Yep.
And
Just
that's not the case anymore.
no, not at all. Well, one interesting thing for you, I guess, Graham, this is a job we're working on. We're at LOD 400 and then piping
Sure.
and stuff, and this is all bus duct, which is we're having to coordinate with the design engineers model. We're never going to get a construction model, so this is kind of an interesting interface in the BIM
I
world where,
I know all about that world.
yep,
And then
but
you've got
it's
people, well, this is our model and we're never going to update it. And you're like, well, what are you guys doing?
what's the
Like,
point? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's but across the board, we're looking for people that are excited about this software and excited about all the different technologies and information this part of the industry. And if you're interested, my phone number and my email address up there. If you'd like to reach out to me, let me
again,
know.
contact me too. I can put you in touch. So
Oh, perfect.
um,
Yeah.
we'll, yeah. So let's go ahead and open this up for questions. I know that a lot of you probably are like, wow, this is cool. What do you got to say? What are you interested in learning more about?
I'd like to know after we're done with this class, what would be the next step in order to go that direction towards, say, your industry, to your business that you work at. Like I've had AutoCAD, and then I am in the construction management program here, and I have like, and my background is 30 years of plus of construction in pretty much residential and light commercial. But I took the AutoCAD and this Revit, and I like the designing, and I
And
like
Williams been really good. Like
really looking towards this.
Williams really shown something that like, hey, I enjoyed this. I'm gonna put my foot forward, and it's something that I think, William, if you're interested, in how to pursue forward, I
Yeah.
think we just why don't we, we'll talk about it instead of a meeting and
Sounds,
get Brett involved. And I mean,
Yep.
again, that's why they're here.
Yep.
Sounds great. Because because I mean, out of the different categories that are within this program, that directions to go, this one is I kind of get a little excited about.
And I see, to be
Sure.
honest,
Yeah.
I've had you in a full class before this, and I saw what your output was and what you were
Oh, yeah.
interested in. And you're one of the people that to be honest, William, you're one of the reasons why I said please come into this class and share.
Oh yeah, and
Because there's
really
people
enjoyed
that want to go that extra mile. If you're just here to like just follow my drawing and whatever, like, and it doesn't interest you, fine. But you've gone above and beyond with a lot of stuff, learning how to make blocks, learning how to do this and that, and I've seen the interest level. It's kind of like what I see in myself sometimes, right? Is like this is an industry that this is what I do, what I am passionate about.
I just wish I had more contact with it earlier on.
Well, and that's the problem,
'Cause it's like I did AutoCAD back on a 386. If that says
Oh my, we
back
must be
then,
the same age. We must be
Yeah.
the same age. Yeah.
yeah, and now it's just like I'm just getting into this, and it's I mean it's exciting to me. It's all the everything that takes care of all the problems I went through, run my own business for years too.
Yeah. Yeah. Reach out as soon as you feel like, I mean, I honestly, we do a lot of internships, like high school students and college students.
Capstone.
Yeah, that's what I will definitely be talking to you about that.
Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, absolutely. Reach out as soon as you feel like you have space to put in some time. I always tell people, it's like, look, if you're in a class and if you were working while you're taking the class, it just jazzes your learning. You like
Absolutely.
it just gets amplified because it's the repetition you need. You need the repetition.
And
That's
you need
these
the time in the
programs.
saddle to really
Yeah.
understand the program. Unfortunately,
Absolutely.
that's the case. I mean, you can come in here. We have, 10 weeks of 3 hours. 30 hours of learning is like, that's less than your first week of work, right?
Exactly. Right.
So I mean,
Just
I've got,
enough to
20,000 plus hours in this program at this point, or probably more like freaking 25 at this point,
Oh,
but
God. I wouldn't want to think about the hours.
yeah, I mean, but it's all a lot of what you do is you learn by repetition and doing it again and again and solving problems. That's my biggest thing is this industry has allowed me to not just be a project manager and order material, but to actually affect the project in a way that I could make sure that everything is going to work, not just have the right amount of, labor on hand or have the right amount of material or whatnot, have the right scheduling so we can get into that area. I mean, this allows me to place within a 16th of an inch every single component and make it
Yep.
constructible.
Yep.
And from my standpoint, like from what satisfies my brain, that's a whole lot better than just, I mean, yeah, I put together, 4.5, $5 million purchase orders for things. Cool. My name's on it. That doesn't excite me.
All right. Modeling it might.
Modeling it does. Absolutely.
Yeah,
What
totally.
I really look forward to is that not dealing with the conflict resolution. You take the conflict out of it and
Well, and it doesn't
resolve
just
it
go
before
away.
it happens.
You plan it. The conflicts don't go away. No one's a
Yeah.
perfect modeler. You will never
Yeah.
see a clash-free model, period.
Nope.
No, but you can hopefully get it before it's put in the ground.
Exactly. And that's the
Exactly.
whole point is for your crew to not be going back to uninstall something they installed so someone else can go there. And that's what's happened for the last, you know, hundreds of years that we've had all of this system work.
100%. Yeah. It's a lot about systems integration. it's not just about making clashes go away. That's like finding nice, clean streets. Clean, straight, easy installations.
Finding routing
They
that
go faster.
every trade is happy with.
Yep.
That's one of the biggest things is we get these design models that, okay, well, maybe they're starting to actually model some of this, design content. Well, you get them and you're like, what were you doing? Like, I would never route like this. I'm offsetting around every single beam. That's not, I've got to have a junction box every 30 feet.
Yeah,
Like,
it makes no sense.
so getting in there and modeling a clean install, like that's what really jazzes me, to
Well,
be
when
honest.
you're saying about going around beams and everything, my brother actually did drafting on Whoops nuclear site. And if you ever heard anything about it, it had cold water pipes going through steam pipes and the design and stuff, and it was one of the biggest messes of engineering in a long time. And
That's what we're trying to avoid.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why this industry is here. Because as much as it can get pre-planned, the better the outcome, the better the cost projections, the better the labor projections, and the more streamlined a project gets.
Any
Because
other questions?
every project has its challenges.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not, nothing's exactly how it's supposed to be based on the drawings. Like if you had that, we
Absolutely.
wouldn't have a job.
Absolutely. Lots of RFIs to be written.
I wrote 5 today.
Yeah. Any other questions? No?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh,
Do you guys do the 4D and 5D portions of BIM?
They just had an exercise where they learned about cost and time projections.
yeah.
Is that all part of your planning sets?
It doesn't well, we do cost because we can select a component in a model and report its cost and labor. But not being a mechanical contractor ourselves, that's not so important. But we run these kinds of reports for our customers quite a bit. Like these components that are in this model, I can just select it and just give me a summary. Probably not a great
While you're
summary.
doing that, Brett, I would say we sometimes use that to uh, sell a solution, not to our client, but sometimes, engineers might push back on changes if they're too significant. So we might be able to say, hey, from here to here, or, we can, if we change this area from this piping that looks like a bowl of spaghetti to
And
this piping here that looks like a bowl of, well, uncooked spaghetti, then, it's better.
Yeah.
And kind of quantify those differences.
and this is a perfect example, guys, right here. So this is 4D and 5D BIM. Maybe not the way that you might have seen it if you looked it up online and saw some videos about their graph projections. But look at the bottom right there. You've got if we look at the top, we've got a pipe. It's 236 feet long, right? You've got a unit of how many hours, right? How many field hours. We know what the price is. We know the material cost. We know the field hours. So there's your 4D and 5D right there. Your 4D is, cost projection, and your 5D is your hour projection.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the presentations you'll see online are,
They're a
I
little misleading.
yeah, I think general contractors will use the timeliner a lot. Like, and if you think about what a general contractor does versus what mechanical contractors do, you can't really run a timeliner on MEPF systems because whenever you see a video and they're doing timeliner videos, it's like excavation and footings, maybe steel erection, and
Sure.
those things you can
Steel erection is the big one. That's what
exactly
everyone's
right.
like, oh, this went all the way. We saw this modeling go through, and it's like,
Yep,
yeah, that's great. My steel
yep.
was erected for this project in the first 6 weeks, and now we have 42 more weeks on this project, and then another, 15 to get commissioning all done, right? Like,
Exactly. And if you took this model here and let me just see if I can give you a good representation. If you've seen a time ladder video, can you imagine if this just regenerated based on a schedule? Like how can you see it?
you can't.
It's impossible. It's so dense with systems that it's not something that can actually be done it just doesn't make any sense. So I see those presentations and I think, okay, great. It's not something the industry is using a great deal. But I was going to show you real quick. It's like you have to think about this is the other kind of cool thing. If you were a project manager or a foreman and you didn't understand how BIM worked, you'd be missing out on the opportunity. To say somebody wanted to phase this, they're going to install phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four, and you were curious how many man hours worth of work you had in those areas. Well, I could just grab this guy. Whoops, sorry, I got to do it correct before Adam watches me here. I can actually do the print. I can tell you. Why do I keep doing that? I just keep doing the wrong thing. There we go. All right, there we go. So I can grab one phase or one quadrant of that, and I can. So I hit the wrong one. Hit the top one. Then I can. Now I know. It's like, okay, I have 1,300 pipe fitter man hours and $2,100 or $21,000 worth of material in that
Are all
position.
of your field hours inputted by RS means or something like that?
MCA labor.
MCA labor. Okay.
Yep,
Great.
like SmackNet, or I mean, like Nika labor. Yep,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
Yep,
perfect.
yep. So what project managers will do a lot of times, we'll get involved in this process of, how many man hours do I have in that area? And we'll run these reports, we'll break them down for them. We'll provide a complete bill of materials so that they can order, like you said, though, get everything ordered in advance. So we're doing some of those 4D and 5D components, but kind of at a different, with a different intent.
And I would
Not,
say a
yeah,
lot of the 4D and 5D componentry that you're seeing is probably more what we just saw, where you look at a sheet and hey, this sector has, this many man hours, this
yep,
and has this many, dollars in material based on what we've modeled.
yep, yep.
General contractors aren't building a schedule into the drawings then.
Not
No.
in the drawings. No, that's more scheduling. The schedule portion of it's more just your P6 or your
I guess I was
Microsoft
just
project.
visualizing that schedule, the construction schedule being part of the planning, the drawing itself.
I mean,
Like each
it could
component,
be, but again, that's all about labor of input of information in each one of those activities, right? So
Right.
like each trade has its own, schedule built in, to the process itself.
Yeah,
I think that's taking it a little too far. I think that's what they
yeah,
want you to think, but realistically, we're looking more at dollars and numbers as
yeah.
far as our 4D.
I see. So
That's a good goal, Keith.
it's just gathering information then.
I mean, we could do that. We just need another double set of detailers to be able to input that. I mean, that's the problem. Is anything more you want to do, it requires more man hours in the modeling side, right? So
Yep.
yes, all of that can be done, but is it practical? Probably not.
I see.
So, but after the job's done, you can actually evaluate where the money went, right? And the time and hours and work and labor.
You can evaluate what actuals are versus what your predictions were. Sure, you
Okay.
can absolutely do that. And a lot of times when you've got a really good BIM team and really well laid out drawings for your field, install goes a lot quicker than you think it's going to.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
food for thought. That's the nationwide average or whatever, but that doesn't mean you couldn't have a killer team that just killed it and installed in 3 weeks instead of 4.5 like they were scheduled to.
Exactly. Yep.
Because your drawings are so good, because everything's coordinated, and all they have to do is install these hangers at 10 feet and run this pipe, and now, everything that they needed to do, all the hard stuff that they were going to have to figure out, because that's kind of part of the calculations too. It's not just the labor for running it, it may be labor for, oh, how do I figure out this offset? Well, if I've already done that, if I've already got all those pieces in place, they can just plug and play, especially when you've got bends coming from prefab. You've got identified parts that literally is just connecting these two connectors and you're rolling. So
Sarah, I run Teams meetings all day long, and none of us are very courteous. I see now that you have your hand raised. Did you have a question?
yeah, Sarah, go for it. Sorry.
I do. Hi, nice to meet you,
We
Brett.
just all
Nice
interrupt
to
each
meet
other
you
all
too.
day. That's our.
That's actually, I'm sorry it's like that, but yeah, sorry. Sorry for not acknowledging you sooner. What's
No,
up?
no worries. I was gonna butt in. I was
Yeah.
just waiting my
All right.
turn.
Oh, please
Good.
do. Go for it.
I
Your turn.
I just have two very basic questions. One of them being the length of your internship slash like what it takes to break through that entry level, and then what is the average salary
No.
that a modeler can make?
Well,
That's.
I'm going to start with the internship piece.
Okay.
We are very we just had a guy do a 2-year internship. He came out of the University of Washington with a materials degree and was looking for a different place to be, like looking for a different job. And he got connected to us through a client. And he spent just about 2 years here working on internship, and his world changed, his life changed, and he ended up leaving. But that was his choice, kind of, to do a long-term internship. We do 6-month internships. It's really flexible. I mean, what we really want to know is we want to give you a place in order to determine whether or not, one, you like this industry, and two, that you can pick up the skills and the software and the just start. What we do is we'd like, okay, like Graham was saying earlier, we'll have you start doing, sheet setup or annotation. And what we're looking for is the first thing is like people come back to you. Other people in our organization come back to you and they say, "Hey, you did a nice job. Let's keep going." When people stop asking you to help them, we know we know that you're not picking stuff up like you're supposed to,
Well,
right?
and,
then
and that's why I spend all day on the phone with answering questions.
exactly. So that can be flexible, like, the duration of internships. It's not something like we've done. I think, honestly, I don't know if you want to hear this, but I've always said I've been managing people in this part of the industry since 1993, so 30 some years. And I've always make the wisecrack of it's 2 years before you really know what you're doing here.
That 100% true.
It is.
100% true.
And you go, you work and you work and you work, and then one day you're like, oh my goodness, it makes sense now. But it takes like layering in all those different pieces. Like it's like I'm setting up backgrounds. I'm going to describe a few things that people have to do all day long. We got to go to sites and we have to download files, and sometimes we don't have to. Like we're working on jobs that have collaboration sites that auto sync, and we have some that you have to do manually. And we have to push stuff up manually, and that's a lot of work. And once you get all those different pieces under your belt, then you go, oh, you start doing more drawing, you start doing more modeling, you start taking on different responsibilities. So we like to layer that process a lot. And we really want people to grow at the pace they're going to grow at and be successful inside of our team. There's a lot going on, and there's not one way to enter, like to get there. Um,
And it's something that doesn't happen overnight. You just got to realize it's not, this industry is so vast. This program that we're working in, multiple programs, they all have their unique things. And then once you start diving down a rabbit hole, I mean, one part of one program, one person could be an expert at. Dynamo,
right.
perfect example, right? But that person could know nothing about any type of, how to place a window, how to place a door, right? Because they're so it's such a vet, you can't know it all. That's what I'm getting at, is there's no person that's like, I'm an expert at every part of this industry. It just doesn't exist.
And this is not hard and fast, but we have interns that probably the $25 to $28 an hour range for an internship to come to work to learn.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Is
that's
that is that internship a full time, or if someone's working and just trying to gain experience, could they do a part time?
Depends on what it would look like. Yeah, it depends.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But if you're interested, like it's, yeah, yes, it obviously it'd be preferred to be full time. I mean, it's just easier.
Yeah.
Because we have interns that because we, like I said, we do a lot of high school internships, and they're a little bit different but when somebody's coming in to be an intern, like one of our leads has to prepare work for that person to do. So it's the more consistent it is, the better. So
Right.
yeah, but
Understood.
we're very flexible. Yeah,
Thank
Zach,
you.
you got
especially through the
something?
internships. Yeah.
Yes,
What's that?
hello, it's lovely to meet you. I just have maybe one or two questions, and I am a loss for words and how to word them effectively, but they're just general questions now that you raised the opportunity for internships, let's say.
Mhm.
One of the big ones is like, what are your, like, and I suppose like I could reach out and also send this in an email for more specification, but broad strokes, what are your broad requirements for to get in the door for internships? Let's say, the stuff that we have in our applications, because there are brilliant minds here in the Zoom call right now who have like immense industry experience.
Mhm.
And for me, I'm a bit the exception because I graduated high school, 2024, and immediately went into this program in the fall of 2024. So I'm a bit of a greenhorn in terms of the industry things here, and I wish to expose myself a bit more to that.
Greenhorns are great, man.
right.
Seriously, people that don't think they know everything and are willing to learn is one of the best hires you can have. You've got people, I've worked with people that, knew nothing, and by the time we were done after, a year of like, on and off training and working for me, they were awesome technicians, right? But you've also got the other side of that where you got a guy that comes in, I know all this stuff, but they're not a company player. They're not gonna,
Yeah.
they don't want to, do what these standards are for this company. And every company's a little different. Everybody's got their own things. But the biggest thing is, accepting that, hey, I don't know everything. I'm here to learn. Um,
We're looking, let me answer your first, I think your first question was, what does it take? Literally, we say this all the time. We tell people, their friends, their family, young kids that are, struggling to find a path in life. If you're passionate and interested about construction and construction technology, we want to talk to you, period. I mean, if you're excited about this business, we want to talk to you and tell your friends. I mean, it's something we truly feel passionate about. We see a lot of this work being shipped internationally, and it's a shame because
we
there's
do.
a lot of people right here trying to learn these skills that aren't getting the opportunity because a lot of organizations are so busy they won't train. They expect
Exactly.
you to walk in the door and start doing stuff. We're kind of I mean, we obviously we'd love to find 10 people that just walk in the door and start leading project managers and leads and everything else. That's just not the way it works. So,
Right.
yep.
No, but I mean that's huge. And again, like having an opportunity that someone, hey, you having an interest in this versus, well, do you have your degree and 3 years, 3 to 5 years experience of this? And then
Yeah.
do you have this? And do you have this? And oh, you're not qualified because, you didn't know how to, do something in AutoCAD that you never have done, right?
Right.
Who cares
Exactly.
about that? It's all about learning what that company needs and how you can be the best asset to
Contributor.
that
Yeah.
company.
Zach, did you have more questions?
Yes, and maybe just one more,
Mhm.
and it's also internship specific. And the question would be is, what does the internship would look like? Do you guys mainly focus training interns for the BIM-based modeling areas, or is it a wide swath where you can specify which sections of interns have interest in? So, like, let's say I'm not into modeling, but I'm able to do maybe RFIs, reporting, and like, people management to get things nice and evenly smooth. And is there like training for that as well in the internship?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We do a lot of RFI creation. The problem with RFI creation is a lot of times RFIs it's kind of a next level experience thing because you don't want to write an RFI that doesn't come back with an answer. So a lot of times there's a lot of prep
Or an
work for
answer that
RFIs.
you
So,
want, I would
oh,
say.
exactly, yeah, exactly. But yeah, you know, Navisworks, clash detection, there's hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of weeks that people are doing just clash tracking and clash communications. Like Navisworks and Clash itself is, I mean, I would say probably in every organization a full-time job for somebody,
Absolutely.
but everybody's doing a little bit of it as opposed to one person doing it. And
I
it's
got
just,
4 members on my
there you
team
go.
that are constantly running Clash. I've got one
Yeah.
Clash lead, and he's got three people working for him, and we're
Just
always going back through. And like last
going
week,
through.
I had a Clash free area we submitted for IFF, or which is issue for fabrication for anyone that doesn't know. And we submitted for it. It was clash free. Another trade came in, blew through all of our stuff, and now we got to go back, right? So it's like just because it was clash free when it started doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. So there's a lot of, management on that side of things too to keep the project organized and keep it, that it's constructible because once you start clashing with everybody and you try to sign a model off, then that defeats the purpose of this entire industry.
I would say that the bulk of our internships are more modeling than other stuff, but we have a lot of document management, document control, and just kind of uh, facilitation, I guess, is a better way to put it. Well, we call them CADmin, administrative CAD. There's just a lot of it to be done. So, yeah, our internships are there are a lot of different things. There's a lot of opportunity to fit in somewhere. So
Thank you for the information, and
yes,
I'll
sir.
be sure to contact as soon as I can.
Thank you.
There was one question in the chat from Keith. He said, "What application is AutoCAD more appropriate for use than Revit?" And I can't answer that as a
Oh,
99% Revit user at this stage of the game because that's what I've done. Like that's what I mean. I've got the background, the other stuff, but my deliverables have always been an AutoCAD, or sorry, has always been a Revit. If I have an AutoCAD, I'm using it for a background type deal, and it's been a Revit deliverable.
who asked that again?
Keith did. It's in the
Keith.
chat.
Great
Mhm.
It says,
question.
what applications is AutoCAD more appropriate for use than Revit?
You know, I'm not gonna cut Adam off because he's gonna say
No,
something
good.
first. No, I'm just kidding.
You go first, Brett, because you know I
Okay.
have answers for this.
Yes, I personally, I think AutoCAD. We have clients that just require it, but it's just it's what's what they want. That's the only thing they want. So knowing
Are
it
you
is
doing
helpful.
3D CAD or 2D
Yeah,
CAD or both?
3D, 3D. Yeah, it's just the AutoCAD version of Revit. It's the same
For sure.
thing.
No, I get it.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
That's how I started.
I personally feel like a job that's going through a lot of change, like a lot of iteration, and you're doing a lot of fit testing and working and fiddling around, is easier to do in AutoCAD, in my opinion, than it is in Revit. Revit's far more rigid on certain things in that
It
regard.
absolutely is.
Yeah,
It doesn't, it says, nope, not letting you do this a lot if you
right. Yeah. So that's my preference. Like the job here that I'm working on this data center, which I don't really have a good CAD model handy of, but this particular job, it changes nonstop all day long. And then one day it's a this, and another day it's a that. I'd be very frustrated by that in Revit, just the way that, the modeling aspect. But I will say, Keith, I would love that the model was in Revit when it comes to the fabrication output and the
and what it can do.
and what it can do.
For sure.
From drawing distribution, drawing output, things like that. AutoCAD is more comfortable for me in that regard, but if I needed to do shop drawings or spool updates or spooling or spool packaging, I wish it was in Revit, but it can't be in both. So I think, go ahead, Adam. That's my answer.
That's a
It's
great
more
answer.
flexible. Yeah.
So my answer first, I'll say I'm equally comfortable in both. I think I came into the industry and have been in the industry through, I think, a unique time or good timing, however you look at it, specifically in the MEP world, which is where we live primarily. And that Revit kind of really didn't come on the scene for what we do until maybe 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
And that's kind of where I
Anyways,
was too. Exactly.
yeah, exactly. So like I'm equally comfortable in both. So my answer, again, from an MEP perspective, it might be the opposite of what you've learned about these softwares. If I'm doing a big hospital, like a brand new hospital, hundreds of thousands of square feet, I'm going to choose AutoCAD every single day of the week. If I'm doing a central utility plant for that hospital campus and it's like its own standalone job and footprint wise, you're talking not that big, right? Just like a big giant mechanical room, and that's about it. No like distribution, no patient floors, no residences, nothing like that. I would want to do Revit all day long. The reason for that is because Revit gets really bogged down the bigger the model gets,
It does.
pretty significantly, and you can't really, or no one ever does, and you certainly could. No one really splits Revit models apart to different pieces very often,
So
as far as we do as different like systems. But in AutoCAD, that's standard practice for decades that AutoCAD has been used. You have a file for level one, a file for level two, a file for level three. So really that job can be as big as it needs to be. And it doesn't matter. Each one of your files is approximately the same size to open. It's convenient, it's fast, you're not going to get super bogged down. But if you try to do like a 40-story apartment tower in Revit, it just starts to get super bogged down and it's really hard to keep it clean. So I look at it from a day-to-day operation perspective. Like, how does it feel to actually use the software for 8 hours a day?
and
Revit
I
feels really
100%
good on a
agree on
small
that.
project.
And unfortunately, like my job is it's a Revit requirement. There's no trades allowed to use an AutoCAD. What I'm working on right now. And the model we've split it in half. It's still, we all have an add-in on our computer that will allow us to schedule a start time. It we All of our models pretty much start opening at 4 o'clock in the morning, and by 5:30 they should be open. And that's a real thing. Is when everyone's working together in Revit, it's yes, there are a lot of upsides to it, but there are some downsides when it comes to file sizing and when it comes to collaborating with that. I mean, I think we're gonna need to split this thing. And the building we're working on, I mean, it's massive. I mean, it's 30 times the size of Seahawks Stadium is this footprint of this building. So, yes, it's broken in half right now. At some point, it's probably going to be broken even farther. Um, but it is a lot to manage and it's a lot to load every time you need to load something. So the workflow on it isn't, it's not as quick as it could be because of, what they're talking about. So I definitely see advantages for both in both scenarios. I would love to be able to, model this area. Luckily, we do have ways to, not turn everything on, load a few things, so, everything's a lot quicker than it could be. But yeah, I mean, AutoCAD definitely has been a industry standard for a long time for a reason. Um, yeah, Josh, you got something.
Yeah, I got a question. I think William might have asked this a little bit, but maybe I missed the answer. But I was just kind of curious, like on the student side, like are you finding a lot of people like either getting into those internships or like full-time positions that they're like coming from construction management degrees, or is a lot of like specialized degrees that are people coming from, or like design heavy courses and things like that?
Good question.
Um, I was just kind of curious, like what at least on the educational side, like where a lot of these people are coming from.
I don't think they're coming from anywhere. Honestly, I mean, um, I don't know who, like maybe a mechanical engineering firm, maybe getting them from professional, like an engineering school, right? Um, but that's a different demand. That's a different need. Um, like I said, I went to North Seattle Community College in 1993. I took a program there, a specialized construction management HVAC systems design program. AutoCAD got me my job, my entire career. Like the skills I learned in AutoCAD and the three classes I took while there, that's what got me where I got to. That's what got us to where we are.
I mean, and ultimately, I kind of the same way. I took, I actually did like an independent study in my senior year of high school in AutoCAD because we didn't have a teacher for it at the time. And then there really wasn't. We had one basic AutoCAD class in my construction management program at WSU. Nothing near what we're doing in this class. Um,
What?
and a lot of it's just passion for it. If you're interested in
Yeah.
it, follow it.
Yeah.
because it really wasn't something that was presented. It's not something that's just going to be there if you, oh yeah, this is those job openings just aren't there. But if you look for them, if you're looking for that, I mean, that's why Brett's here. That's why Adam's here,
Yeah.
because they're looking for some students that really want to, you know, excel in what they do. And
Yeah.
if you enjoy these classes, I mean, there's not a, I can't think of a better opportunity from what I've seen in the Northwest.
Yeah.
So,
We I don't know if that answered your question, but we don't need you to have a degree. We need you to have the passion and the interest in the construction technology. We'll put you to work tomorrow if you want to. It's like really it's the desire, it's the passion. And I think maybe the answer might be that if you wanted to get a job at a big mechanical contractor or a big electrical contractor or something, you're going to have a construction management degree
you are.
and 5 years experience and or you're going to have to know somebody. It's just really difficult. They don't hire that much
And,
either. They just don't
and
hire that much.
and that's why I was so excited to bring Brett and Adam in today, because this opportunity, from what I've seen in the industry, I graduated in 2013 from Wazoo. I joined right in, started that summer in the industry, in the electrical industry. I got a foot in the door because of, I knew somebody at Wazoo. They were looking for, project management interns, or not interns, just, assistant PMs, that kind of stuff.
Fees, yeah, yeah, yeah,
PEs,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But at that point, this industry really wasn't there yet. And it started, this is right before Brett started this company, right?
Yep.
Or whoever did. It's a
Yeah.
woman
Oh, yep. I was there. Yeah.
So, I mean, so this industry has really taken off since then. And, the opportunities to get that experience were really, I got very fortunate that we had a couple projects that needed some BIM. And I was like, hey, I know some AutoCAD and I knew enough to be dangerous and, start modeling and model these crazy pipe work and that bends in 3 dimensions and
Yeah. Right.
and
Yeah.
it was like, oh, this is really what I'm interested in. I don't want to continue to log emails and log purchase orders and RFIs. And like, it's important. I do a lot with RFIs still to this day, right? Every day I'm writing something for an RFI, but I'm not the one that's just managing that. I'm not the one that's just like, we pass it off to a team. I'm the one that's modeling, looking at things. And if I see an issue, we bring it up and we write an RFI about it. Um,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
it's cool. This is a pretty
Yeah.
awesome opportunity.
Yeah. And I was in addition to that, I'm thinking back through like the many people that have worked here over the years. We have a lot of people, which is unfortunate for me, who or our organization who will work here for several years and they'll go to work at a mechanical contractor. They'll be like, "Hey, I worked at Modern for 5 years," and they're like, "Okay, we'll take you."
Cool.
I mean, it's we have a pretty good reputation in the industry and locally, especially in the mechanical side. But if you do this, I mean, there's other opportunities. We'd love it if people stay,
And
but
it's a small world, right? The
yep,
Northwest BIM industry is not huge. It's not like, it's a nursing union that covers, hundreds of thousands of people maybe. You've got, this select, 2,000, 2,500 people maybe across Washington that do what we do. And it's specialized for sure, and it is hard to get into. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I got kind of lucky. Other people have the same type of thing, but you just gotta follow what you like if it's something that you're interested in. And
absolutely. Yeah.
I wouldn't go another way. I wouldn't trade being a project manager for the world for what I do. So
Oh, Keith has one more thing that I'll say on top of that. I can tell you, days go by like lightning doing this work.
I do.
I mean, you aren't, and unless you're just not interested, a day will not feel like 8 hours. It is amazing. You get to the end of the day and you're like, oh my God, it's over. Oh my God, how am I gonna get all this done? I mean, it's the days go by because you're so into what you're having to, the production is huge. Go ahead, Keith.
That sounds wonderful. Um, so basically the difference between auto sounds like the main difference between AutoCAD and Revit is just the computing power necessary to run Revit is
It's huge.
makes it cumbersome.
It
And
can be.
so just ease of use makes AutoCAD worth worth the because it just seems like to me that Revit is such so much more powerful than AutoCAD, and you can do so many things with Revit that you can't do with AutoCAD.
Okay, I'm gonna step you back, Keith, because you
Yeah.
took my AutoCAD course. Okay, you took a 2D AutoCAD course, very much line work oriented.
Mhm.
Okay, it's how it's designed. In AutoCAD 3D, we have 3D components. Can you bring something up?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
That's not that.
it's like you're working in a real 3D environment. You're actually modeling with 3D elements.
This
So
is simple, but
I know that our class was based on 2D fundamentals. That's how that class has been taught since 1980, right? That's what they want to focus on. They want you to learn that basic line work style of modeling. That being said, AutoCAD has AutoCAD MEP, which has mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems built into it. You've got different parts and pieces that you can bring in and modify, and
So it,
it's actually modeled in 3D environment instead of what we were doing, which is just 2D line work.
so we were doing tip of the iceberg stuff,
oh
Tip,
yeah,
tip.
and
basics. Yeah.
and there's a lot more to it that I mean I've never used AutoCAD 3D before or
Exactly.
AutoCAD MEP, so um, are those similar except they don't have the BIM components? Are
They're
they
the same
similar
so it's the same
without the
software. It's the
Same
same software.
software, except
Yeah.
instead of, and we could have even looked at some 3D elements in ours. We just didn't. That wasn't part of the program. That wasn't what was being taught, right?
Okay.
Um, I wanted to incorporate it into it when I took the course over, and the instructions were we need to continue to teach it the same. Like I could change the course up how I taught it, right? So it was for whatever I wanted to do, but it was the same style of modeling where you've got a 2D modeling class, and it's not real modeling, it's really line work, plan view line work, and
There's only so much time in a class,
exactly.
right?
Again, you had 20 hours of total class time, right? To learn everything about AutoCAD. That's not going to happen. Same thing with Revit, right?
Keith, are
Okay.
you looking? Are you looking at this?
But that's AutoCAD 3D modeled, just like I model in Revit in 3D.
Yep. And it's interesting in our world on the piping side, it's the same database that drives both softwares. So when I go to draw a piece of this is technology water for a data center, when I select that, when I start selecting the components off of this palette, they're built specifically for that system and service.
So instead of just having the 2D blocks like we used in our class, they have
exactly.
3D blocks and parts and pieces that connect.
Yep. And they have all the labor and material and everything in them, just like that's actually what I was showing you earlier in that fire sprinkler drawing was an AutoCAD 3D model. But this is it outputs the same. It's you use it in Navisworks the same way. It's just in
And
my
you just export
example.
to NWC for coordination.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yep.
So,
And
I mean,
yeah,
ultimately, the output for coordination when we use Navisworks, I export to NWC, Brett exports to NWC, and then we all play in the same field in Navisworks.
come together. That's a
And we come
federated model.
together, and when I
Yeah.
hit one of your pipes, I'm like, hey, dude, I
Sorry
got a
about that.
rack here. Can you drop this a quarter inch? Yeah, not a problem. Or actually, I really need to be here. Would you mind offsetting up and over? No problem. I'll set a junction box and we'll reset. Thanks for the input, and we
Yeah,
move on.
exactly how it goes. And you can see this green is the electrical systems here. I mean,
Yep.
somebody had to weave those between the wall, the TDC flange on the duct,
And that's what I
and
do. All
yep,
that.
all day long. Yep, seismic bracing, supports, you
Oh,
know,
get some rod clashes there.
yeah, totally. Small bends, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yep. So yeah, they do the same thing. It's great to. I personally, if somebody came in here, I wouldn't expect them to understand how to draw a line in AutoCAD. So I think even just having the basics of AutoCAD
And knowing
is,
what a ribbon is, knowing, how
yep,
to get around it, knowing what a sheet a plan or a paper space versus model spaces. I mean,
Yeah.
all those things that we covered in that first class for for the half of you that have taken it, I mean, all of that is applicable. Look at the bottom of his drawing. You still have model space. You got sheets. You've got
Yeah.
all of it's still applicable.
These
And
are,
you're just gonna take what you've learned, the basics, and then actually apply it. My goal is to get you into the door somewhere and you to be able to open the program and feel comfortable enough to understand basics of what you're doing instead of, oh my gosh, this is a foreign world, right?
Yeah, I want to something you just said there, Graham, and to kind of connect some earlier questions that were focused on like internship type questions, like a little bit more specific to what we do. If if an intern were to be in the office and I had asked them to set up a sheet and, hey, here's where our title blocks are stored. You're going to have to make the sheet in paper space and viewports and like all those terms that I'm just kind of throwing out right now. If they asked me, oh, we learned about that, but I'm not quite sure how you'd like to do it. Can you show me? That's a really good question. But looking at me like I'm speaking another language and like, what the heck is a paper space? What the heck are coordinates? That's those aren't as good of questions. So
Correct.
the 2D foundation of it you don't have to really relearn anything just because it was 2D versus 3D from an AutoCAD perspective. Like that stuff is all really good to know. And an employer, I'd venture to say, not just us, any employer would be happy, if not expect you to know what those things are, even if you don't, even if you can't do them without any guidance. It's more
Exactly.
to know what they are and not to act like you've never heard of those things
And
before.
that's what this whole program is about, guys. I mean, ultimately, I get you for 20 hours in the fall, maybe, 30 hours in the winter. That's it. Like, that's not on the job training by any means. But it gets you learning the program, it gets you interested into it. You can see what it's starting to do. You have a understanding of how the ribbon works, how to get to your properties, how to get to your browser, and like those basic things are like, okay, well we can work with this and we can, build on this solid foundation that's already started.
yeah.
So, all right, we're gonna go ahead. I think anybody else have anything? I know we went probably way over time, but that's fine. I think it was a very, very worthwhile discussion by all of us. I appreciate Brett and Adam for coming in. Thank
Yeah,
you
I
for
just have one question, and it's just on the AutoCAD the program we downloaded. Does that have 3D accessibility?
it does, but it doesn't have MEP stuff built into it. So
Oh,
like
okay.
it doesn't have anything that's already existing in
Yeah.
3D. You can build an extrusion in it and you can start modeling 3D. But now, that being said, if you are interested in AutoCAD MEP, your student um, email, go get yourself a all of you guys have a year subscription to anything you want Autodesk. Okay, so you take advantage of it.
I mean, don't they have training within the Autodesk itself of it?
There's some, I mean, and
Yeah.
then there's all types of
Well,
training on YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of people online that anything specific you're looking how to do, you've got, you know, all types of paid stuff too. There's a lot of training available
yeah.
out there. But to be honest, the best training that you can get is on the job training, working for somebody that is looking to produce a product, not just show you how to model.
Whenever I have spare time and stuff, I'd rather fill it with something. And
Well, cool.
that's why on the AutoCAD, I even after the class, I use it to just think things through on measurements and building stuff. So, and try to figure it out a little more at a time
Yeah.
because takes
You
a
can
long
take
time to get it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the really, one of the tools in AutoCAD, just basic AutoCAD that a lot of people don't spend the time to do is one of the tasks we have interns do a lot of times is build a piece of equipment. Like we'll have an air handler or a panel or a something, and it's like because that's the repetition. It's like, hey,
Learn to
build this like this. Here's a cut sheet, here's a picture, here's how we think you should build it, and you go do it. And you might go do a couple of YouTube videos. You may, take a chance, take a, approach it the way you might take it, crack at it. But that's actually one of the things we do a lot of in early internships is just to get a feel for what somebody's perceptions of the software are.
That's awesome because so as a former family developer,
Mm. hmm
I was ultimately we had all this stuff. We ended up buying some other software. It didn't work the way we wanted it to, right? And it didn't work well with what we were doing. So it's like we want to build this in-house. So I ended up spending about 5 years when I was at Sequoia building a complete library from scratch with our the way we wanted it built because we
Yep.
wanted something different than everybody else. We wanted at that company we were a lot of our stuff we were doing was design build. Well, we have engineers in house that are already modeling. I want to take advantage of that. I want to take advantage of somebody else that's doing some of the legwork for us and continue to you know, just take that and run with it. So we would build families that engineering could use, and then as soon as it came over to the, MEP, the coordination side, we switch it over, and it's a family that already has 3D geometry. It's already loaded with the right information, and we're already prefabbing within a week, because we took the time to build that, right? A lot of time went into it. Like I said, I would say 10 hours a week for 5 years, right? It's a lot of time in development, but it did exactly what our team needed it to do. And understanding how to build those families, how to, you know, understand the modeling side of it where and what parameters control things and how to get things formula. I mean, there's so much to it that you don't learn it overnight. It took me, a decade to get where I'm at, and I'm only learning more every day. It doesn't stop.
There's so many places to fit into it. I personally, we have a lot of places where people can fit in and start contributing and learning at the same time. That's our ultimate goal is help people advance their skills and become more proficient. So
And the more
yeah.
you
Graham,
learn,
when you left Sequoia, did you take your family with you?
I was gonna say his family's I was gonna say something like it wasn't social work when he was doing family work. Yeah. It's good with Sarah.
unfortunately, during a Microsoft project and workload requirements, I was laid off and did not have a chance to get what I had developed. Um, yeah, very. I mean, yes, I've got some backup copies of some stuff, but not the library that I had. I had probably 2,000 families built that, you know, I had one family that we called our $100,000 family because it was one of our wall rough-in families that did everything, and it was fantastic, and it got used 500 to 2,000 times a job on jobs for the next they're still using it and for the next decade at this point. And what it does is it allows for engineering to drop it, people to, move it around if they need to and elevate it for coordination reasons, put in all the information for circuitry, put in all the information for the prefab builds on it. All the right parts and pieces are on there with all their catalog numbers, and I mean it spits out an order sheet and they go to town. And it didn't happen overnight. It took like I said, it was our $100,000 family because it took me 2 years of developing it. Um, but by the time it was done with everything, it's saved a lot of money downstream. So it's hard to quantify how much BIM really does for a project. And that's a conversation I have all the time. It's like project managers are like, yeah, I had a $5 million budget and I did the whole thing in $4 million. Well, that's great. Well, you spent $250,000 on BIM, and what did they do for you? Probably about $1 million plus of productivity because we pre-planned this. We're not going backwards. We've got, it's all planned and you're going for it, and you've got documentation that shows every part and piece of what you need. But all that comes from the BIM side. So, do we see the rewards in the end? A lot of times, no. Maybe Brett has a better example of that because, your firm is strictly BIM or, it's a modeling firm. But, you know, it's hard to quantify how much you can do on this side of the
Oh, totally.
industry.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also just, I mean, we've got jobs where you've because of the model that allowed you to see the ability to delete, literally thousands of feet of pipe. It sounds ungodly, but I mean, that it's a thing. I think we just deleted 1,700 feet of pipe out of a job just by writing one RFI because of how we saw the job. There's a lot of opportunity to be had for the clients as well, and that's what we're here for.
Yep.
One, to run our own business, but to save our customers money. Yeah. All right, well, I'll let you guys get at it, huh?
Cool. Well, thank you. Let's go ahead, everyone. We can all
Thank you very much.
this is recorded, so if you guys are cool with them going back to it to watch it, if
Sure.
Brett.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
so if anyone missed something, again, it's recorded. I'll post it as part of my video for this week. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back at 7:45. I've got a floor plan to start with, and we'll get modeling and get on with the rest of our lectures for the evening.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
Well,
Thank
thank you
you
very
so much,
much.
Brett and
Adam.
Adam.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Take care.
Yeah,
Thank you, Brett.
so much.
All right, so go ahead, get some water, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. We'll be back on at 7:45 to do an hour lecture. Was that beneficial for you guys that are still on?
Oh yeah, very much was.
Yes,
Okay, awesome.
definitely.
Okay, I know it takes time out of our class, but it also, kind of presents some amazing opportunities.
Yeah, when you guys were talking about modeling, just building little what is it, elements and stuff of.
Families.
Yeah, I that's what I on my final project in that class. It's like everything from the garage door handles to the
Yep.
um, plumbing and everything else. I modified. I take the blocks apart and then rebuild them,
Yep, I know.
and it was fun.
I
And it
saw
was
your
really
work, man.
fun. Yeah, and I mean, so it was really really fun to do too.
Cool. Well, if you're interested, William, I definitely, you're somebody that I see that's got kind of a passion for this and wants
Okay.
to. So,
I'll be talking to you in the future on this one.
okay, cool.
I want to
Well,
get through. I say I want to get through this class and
I know you want
learn
to get
something.
through it. And I think that's one of the things that you got to just make sure that I know they're ready to hire like now, hey, start
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah.
It's like, no, I got my own things, but as soon as I'm available, let's rock this or
Oh
whatever you
yeah.
want to do, you know.
Well, and so I finished my first year at the end of this quarter, and I'm looking at, well, if they have a 6 month intern, I might be able to do that as a capstone for the last 6 months of my schooling.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
And
I'm kind of thinking.
yeah, because doing
So,
it sooner, I'm concerned I get too because I have some classes that are going to be a
no,
little.
you can't. Don't start full
Yeah,
work until you're ready. That's I.
exactly.
So take it with a grain of salt. But like, I'm really glad that they came in to talk a little bit about their company. It's just an opportunity that I've not really seen exist in this Northwest BIM industry. Of, hey,
Yeah,
we're looking to help train, which like I get most people are, but very specifically, and we want you to have all this experience before you come in. And
yeah,
it's hard to be like, hey guys, how do I get into this industry? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, kind of, like it's
exactly.
hard.
You have to have an opening,
You
and
do.
you take the opening when it's there, and try to get in. And
Yep.
so yeah, so I'm interested in that because that's the thing. I still have a capstone I have to look for
Yeah.
and
So
and have some ideas, but hey, it might be that opportunity that hits right.
cool. All right, I'm gonna take my little
All right,
break to grab some water and stuff, and
that
I'll be
sounds
back.
good. I kind of need some water too. Okay.
All right, we'll give everybody another minute or so to get back. It's 7:44. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Tonight, we're going to start off with seeing what you remember. And I would like you to copy this exactly. I've given you what the exterior walls are, what the interior walls are, what type of window, what type of doors, and all of the dimensions to center line that you would need to build this, or to model it, I should say. I have also, if you're someone that wants to put this on their own screen, I have also gone ahead and posted it on tonight's module, week 5 in-class activity, PNG. If you open that up, you will see the exact same thing that is on my screen. So if you want to pull that up for reference or whatever, feel free to do so. But I will leave it here for now. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask them. I might have you share your screen. That's why I've posted it on Canvas. So if I do have someone else share their screen, you have a reference for it. But yeah, let's see what you guys have learned so far and see what we can do.
So just a quick question, just open it like you showed us before, right? With
Yes,
going
it's
to a new and then using the worksheet, the browse to the work
yeah, yep.
to the template.
So sorry, that's a great. Thank you for asking that. So let's go ahead and open this together for people that haven't opened this up correctly. Again, we want to go to Revit 2026, and at the splash screen, as soon as this loads, I will show you what we want to do. So we want to go and create a new file. So we want to hit this new button right here under the models, not under the families. We want to create a new project, but instead of using this template file here, we want to browse to wherever your template file is shown. Mine is probably documents. Here it is. There's my template file, right? Construction 246 project template. Click open. You're going to create a new project using that template file and click OK. Every week we're going to be doing the same thing. Yours probably won't say it needs to be upgraded, but that's just because I need to resave that template because I started it in 25. So, but that's how we need to open every week, and then we will be left with just these basic views in the browser. Everything's cleaned up in our section views on there. And before you get too far, go ahead and go File, Save As, Project, and I'll save it as, I think I called that Class 3, but that was really Class 4. Class 5, Winter 2026. That way it has a place to put backup files if for some reason it crashes. So go ahead, work through this. If you've got questions, please ask. Everything that we're doing on here, we have covered in class so far. So let's just see what we can do without me holding your hand, so to speak. And if you have questions, please speak up.
Okay, I do have a quick one. As I for somehow got my on the last class at the end of it, I got my properties for floor plan up,
You did
and
what?
how do I get rid of it? It says it says floor plan architectural plan.
You want to?
So
I
yeah,
guess
I'll share
you can
screen.
share your screen real quick.
Pretty sure that's the
Sorry,
one.
everybody. I'll share it right back. What'd you do? Let's see.
It's over here.
Oh, okay. So you need to right click on in the white space
There.
and then go down to browsers and then turn on project browser.
Okay.
So what had happened is I think, oh, and now it's up there. So you need to like drag it down.
How do I get the side of it?
What had happened is when you save your template probably didn't have that in it. So
Okay.
we'll get with me right after class and we'll fix that.
Okay, how do I get this browser down?
Grab it from the top gray bar and just drag it down.
Okay, like that, and then just put it right back here.
And then put it on the left-hand bottom side. It's hard to do, but you might.
Yeah, I think this is the same problem I had before, so I'll get her right
Okay.
there.
But you may just want to like pull it to your left side of it, and that's fine too. So
Okay, or put it
you
up.
can. And the thing about these is they're not. They don't have to be within the window, so you can pull it to like your left-hand side of the Revit window, and it'll still.
Right there, right?
You can have both of them open right next to each other. That's fine.
All right.
So.
I can work with that and just move it around where I want it.
But if you want to right now, go ahead and drag it to the bottom, right above where it says AZ or ZA at the bottom, and you should see a blue box that only fills the bot. There you go. Got it.
Okay,
Nailed
got her.
it.
All right.
Woo!
So I'll get out of the share
Hey,
screen.
real quick, do a file save as.
Okay.
Save as project template. Save as template and overwrite your other one.
All right.
So save that. Click on your other template right there. Yep. Click
then-
save.
Yes. Right.
Yes. Yep. And then
All
now
right.
I want you to do file save as again.
And then go as a project,
And then
right?
save it as a project for tonight. Correct. But now it updates. Actually, just go ahead and close that and reopen. Let's do
Close
that.
the whole, just close everything, or
Close or just click into the white area real quick. Don't not exit Revit. Just click right there. Close that floor plan. Yep. It'll
All
bring
right.
you back to the splash screen. Go to new and then browse for that template again.
All right.
And
Well,
then
you messed
now that
up
template
this.
will be updated for every time you use it. You won't have to do that every time.
Which one do I use?
No, so okay, this is a great question. So see anything that says .001
Yeah.
or 002 or 003, that's a backup file.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to use the one without any dots or numbers after it, and that's your
All
project.
right.
There you go. Open, and then create a new project from it. Perfect.
All right.
And then
There, it's all there again.
boom,
Oh,
nailed
wait.
it. Now do a file save as project, and you're good to go.
All right.
And then you can get back to trying to build this or model this little building.
And then, okay, and I'll put that where I put them.
I don't
So,
know. Well, you can put
yeah,
it
well, I put it in my other file, in my school class file.
fine. Whatever. I don't care where you put it. You
So
put
I was just gonna get out of the share before I did.
Okay. All right.
You guys can.
Sounds
give-
good. I'll take it back. Thank you.
All right.
All right. And there's the share again for my screen. So you should be seeing what we're trying to model tonight.
Oh, we're supposed to be modeling that? Oh, that's why you said. Oh.
Yep, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Modeling exactly what you see on this screen. It's also
Okay.
it's also available for anyone that came back from break late. It's also available right here. If I go to modules and I go down to right here, Feb 2nd, week 5 in class activity, that's the same picture. So it's on your Canvas site as well if I need to take the screen back for somebody else.
Hey, Graham, you up for a quick question? Or are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
The only question I had is, so you say exterior wall basic 8 inch. Though there, I don't see an exterior wall that's 8 inch.
Okay, generic 8 inch.
All right, thank you.
Generic 8 inch, and then this one is interior 4.5 inch partition. So here. And then when you're done, I want you to write in the chat that you're done. I'm not expecting it. I'm gonna give everyone till about 8:15. So 20 minutes from now, 19 minutes. Should be enough time, but if it's not, we'll see where we stand. So just let me know where you're at. Again, nothing super challenging, but has a few things to do. All right, it looks like most of you are still working, so we'll do another 5 minutes and then check in and then see where we go from there.
Graham,
Yes, sir.
what's the height that we should set these walls, the unconnected height?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't do anything with them. They're just at 20 feet right now. This one looks like it's at 12 feet. I'm not too worried about that. But we can go ahead. That's a good question. Again, we can go ahead and tab select. Sorry. You can hit tab select to select all of them, and we could change it later, right? So we could make it all 12 feet to match the interior walls.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, Graham,
Yes, sir.
could I share my screen? There's something I'm
Absolutely.
missing.
Yeah.
So these two are foot off, and I'm not really seeing where I have it wrong.
You don't have, so the middle, you should have 9 feet between that middle window on the left-hand side.
Yeah, so this one's supposed to be 9. I think this one's supposed to be something else too.
It should be 7. So the whole middle wall, that that wall to going vertical there and to the right need to go shift over a foot to the right. Don't just move it that way. You could do that, but go ahead and grab the other one. Hit escape. Grab the other one. Grab the door. And then use your move command and move it 1 foot. So MV is your keyboard shortcut. Use your actual command so that way you can move it. There you go. Click, move to the right, and then type in 1 foot. You got to click first. Click to set a base point. Move to the right. Move to the right. You didn't move to the right. You were still on top of 0, so it didn't know which direction to go. So select the wall and the door. You got to select the walls too. Right, and that wall is now. I don't know. You're in a move command right now. You gotta. Okay, go ahead and select the wall. Select the door. So hold control and then select the other wall. Now use your move command to move the whole thing 1 foot right. Again, you don't have to click right onto anything. Just click anywhere in open space, move your mouse to the right, and there you go. You can move it 1 foot. There you go. Now you can redo those dimensions on your windows and the door, and you should get it right.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. All right, I got two people in the chat that say they're done. Um, we'll give it another 5 minutes or so. So 8:20. Alright, another one done. Perfect.
Hey, Graham. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yep, I got you.
Just flagging that I'm here. You missed me in the
Oh, I
beginning.
got you. You're good.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, so we'll give it another minute. For those of you that aren't done, please continue to finish this up. For those of you that are, let's go ahead and start adding in some furniture and or appliances, plumbing fixtures, bathroom showers, what have you. So this area right here, it's a one bedroom studio apartment with a 12 by 12 bath. Okay. So nothing huge, right? I mean, it's 50 by 24. So, I mean, it's decent size, but it's, open floor plan. So I want to see what you guys can create. If you want to add additional interior walls, if you want to rearrange a window because you have cabinets or something in the way and you want to do something, by all means, make it. This is a template to then make it your own and start, really involving yourself in this process, in this because not I mean, this isn't just fixtures and, plumbing fixtures. I mean, we've got people that are looking for jobs like I mean, same concept, just a different family. So, the better you get at this, the more comfortable you get in this setting of, of playtime, so quote unquote, right? The better off you're going to be if you want to try to pursue any of these job opportunities. So, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to move this over to here just so I can free up this inside space and start putting in a few additional items. So I'm going to go up to my insert tab. I'm going to use my load Autodesk family from the cloud. You can see it right there. You got this little cloud. And I'm going to go start finding some stuff to put in here. So again, you can just go down through here. Maybe you want to, just look through the categories. Mechanical, a lot of stuff you probably don't want, right? You don't want to look for chillers and that kind of stuff that are industrial. Okay, so I would suggest probably just going to all results and then searching for something. So if you want a bed, just type in bed and you can pull up, the different bed options. So maybe I'll download that one. And again, we come down to our families. We go down to whatever category they're in. This time it's furniture. Oh, you can see bed box right there. And then I've got options. Do I want a queen size, a double size, a twin size? I'm going to grab that queen, drag it in, and then I'm going to put him.
Oh, hey Graham, if you're not showing your screen, if that's what your intention was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I was sharing, but apparently not. I hate that when I'm recording, it doesn't show my freaking box around my screen, so I never know if I'm actually sharing or not. All right, sorry about that.
I was seeing it.
In your mind?
No,
No, it was
like you
showing
just
what you were
placed a
doing.
queen bed.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was sharing my screen, yes?
Oh, that's weird because all I see is your insignia, is your G.
Well, maybe you need to open up the other window. I don't know. I've got no idea.
It looks like Will is also sharing the screen, so I think both of you are
Oh,
overlapping each other in
Will,
some
stop
sense.
sharing your screen.
Well, I thought I did.
I thought I kicked
How
you
do I
out.
get out of it?
Here. Yes, I kicked you out now.
Oh, I thought you did that a while ago.
I thought I did too, but apparently you were still there on the side. All right. All right, so those of you that were watching my screen saw it. For William, again, we're gonna go here.
I was listening, so I
I
wasn't
know you're
looking.
good. I know. We're just gonna go to this Autodesk family, right? The insert tab in our ribbon. Go to the load Autodesk family. This time, instead of a bed, I'm gonna go find a couch. Search for that. It looks like I really want to have.
Mr. Graham, I just have a question.
Yes.
Mind to remind me, how do I turn off temporarily my dimensions?
Oh, so you want to turn these off? For sure. So if you want to turn your dimensions off right now, we can go to our visibility graphics. So that is what controls all the visibility of dimensions, of walls, of mechanical, of plumbing. And we can get there by typing in VG on our keyboard, or you can go to the view tab and go to the, I guess it's the third button over, visibility graphics. If we go to the annotate tab here, we can go down to dimensions by typing in D. I hit E, but D. Uncheck that dimensions, and then those will all turn off if you don't want to see them.
Thank you.
Again, that's in your VG annotation categories and under dimensions. So same thing if I, like, let's say I didn't want to see my windows for some reason. I would go this. I'm in annotation categories because that's what we were seeing for dimensions. If I didn't want to see my windows, I could go to model categories and turn my windows off, right? And apply that. Now I don't see my windows. Okay, I actually turned this back on. So I'll turn my, so then it would look something like this, right? Where I've got no windows, I've got no dimensions, but it does show me where there's breaks in the wall because that window would be framed there. So anything you want to turn on and off is you are able to do so in your visibility graphics. I'm going to go ahead and turn my stuff back on. Good question.
One more question. You want us to pick the exact furniture you are, or we just need to place it?
No, this is your palette. Your
Oh,
canvas.
okay.
Nope. Don't worry about picking what I'm picking. I'm just grabbing a few things to make, to put on here. So, whatever you want to do, make it your own. Probably put a little living room setup over here. And again, yeah, you don't need to follow my floor plan. The only thing that I have in here, again, is this is my intentional bathroom. If you want to add another wall, if you want to move walls, if you want to move windows, I've got no problem with that. Okay, so this is just your starting template, and then the rest is up to you to put some creativity into it. I do want to see minimum 10 families in here that are loaded, so keep that in mind. See if it'll do that. Did it load my chair? So you can do that too. If you're in this browser, as long as you hit this checkbox for something you want to select, and then you can go to something else like a lamp. And then I could get this floor lamp, and maybe I want to get that lamp as well. And then I could go to shower. So you could pretty quickly go through here and select the items you want. Nothing for a stove, huh? We'll just do kitchen. Let's see what they got. They got a kitchen unit. We'll put one of these guys in there. So as long as you have all those selected, which once you select it, it remains in your selection set, you can hit the load button and then all of those will load. And then sometimes it comes with this, always just do the top option. Now maybe I want to put this desk in over here. Maybe he's got a little work area right here in the corner. And lighting fixtures, I can go ahead and put this. I thought I got, I thought I downloaded that other light. That's weird. Go back to here. Right, there they are. Put a little lamp by here. Maybe another one over here. And then this other lamp. Here, table lamp, there we go. This one I'm going to go ahead and put on top of this desk. And then use my section cut. Oh, I think it's already dropped. I'll use my section cut to go look at the elevation on it and move it from here. So it's sitting on top of the table. And if I look at things in fine or a little bit more realistic, it might show me a little bit more than just a wireframe. That one doesn't look like it does. Yeah, it's too big. You can have that one. And then let's get a TV and a TV stand, maybe a computer. Oh, that's terrible. There, I'll give it this terrible monitor. Again, this guy, I'll go ahead and use my section view.
Just curious, are you talking to someone or?
I'm talking to myself or anyone.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, whatever you guys know. I'm just showing you what I'm talking, narrating what I'm doing. And then let's see. We can also put in something like, oh, I'll get a TV stand and a TV. And if you use your space bar before you click to insert your family, you can rotate it at 90-degree increments going counterclockwise. All right. So, and then not too long with pretty simple, family insertion. If we go to our 3D view here in our project browser, so close that. We'll go to actually we don't have one right here, so we can click the doghouse. And here you can see that, here we go. And so maybe this is one of those windows I was talking about earlier that, if you need to move something due to the layout of your furniture and your appliances, feel free to do so. So right now these are set to equals. So if you do need to move one of these windows and it gives you that error message, what needs to happen is we need to remove those constraints. What it's saying right now is these are constraining it to equals. If we delete this and click unconstrain, then we can move this window independently and get it out from behind that fridge. When I go back to that 3D view, now that window's sitting there nicely, and maybe I need to elevate it a little bit too. So I could go ahead and change that sill height to 6 inches up. And now it sits nicely with my countertop.
Hey, Graham.
Yes.
Could you go over how you opened your section view to see, like, to lay out the TV and
Sure,
put something
absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
So 2 things about section views. We typically use one that's a north and south one, and then one that faces east and west. These views are operational by dragging the view to where you want to view. If you want to view north and it's facing south, you can right click on it and use this flip section command, and that's going to change the direction that it's facing. This arrow right here is how far you're going to view, right? So if I take this section cut right now and I don't have that chair included, when I go to it, so when I right click and I hit go to view, I'm not seeing that other chair, right? Because that's the end of my section. So I need to make sure that this section cut extends all the way past the object that I want to see, so that way it comes into that section.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then last but not least, I'll go ahead and build out this bathroom real quick. Maybe this guy's super cool, and he actually also has a urinal that's hosted to that wall. And maybe this room I want to move that door, right? So anything that you want to do to rearrange doors or windows or walls, by all means, you can have freedom to do so. And then last but not least, I'll just go ahead and put a sink in here and call it good for tonight. Nothing great that's freestanding. Let's see. I'll just go ahead and put a utility sink in there for just to have something. All right. So I don't know how many families do I got in here. Let's see. If I do this and then go to categories and filter, and I take off my doors, dimensions, and walls and windows, I'm left with, looks like 18 families that I loaded in. So I'm requiring 10 for tonight's assignment. Let's please try to get those in, and then next week we're going to move into some more advanced stuff. So if you have any issues doing this, again, repetition is key. Open it up again and do the drawing again. Make your own drawing, right? Time spent outside of class is only going to be valuable to you. You know, it's you learn by doing. So and then we'll come back here and kind of look, and yeah, this is a nice little place. I wouldn't mind living here. I got a little desk and a TV and some chairs. If I went here and rented this for an Airbnb, I'd be more than satisfied, right? So, and maybe again, if you want to move something over because it doesn't fit your arrangement, maybe I want to move this over to there. It's up to you. So what I want to do though is submit a screenshot of your floor plan. Just like we've done in the weeks past. So I'll save it in here. Week 5 screen. And then you can upload that to Canvas. And if we go back to Canvas and we go to our modules, we should have a spot for tonight. We've got week 5 activity. That's just the picture. And then right here, you've got 2-2 class work. So that's a place that you can go ahead and submit your assignment for tonight. I've also included a few other links for you for 5D BIM and 4D BIM. If you're interested, check them out. Not mandatory, but yeah, take a look if you are interested. Any questions before we wrap up this evening? Is anyone still awake? All right.
Yeah,
Mostly.
we'll get this.
Working.
Cool.
Yeah, just working intently.
Awesome. Sounds good. So, overall, were you guys happy that that contractor came in tonight?
It's really enjoyable to see the interest. That's for
Absolutely.
sure.
It
Motivating.
can't, it can't get more real than that because we always hear it that, people are gonna come and, start offering. And this is the first time I've seen this.
Well, let's hope that this is not that this is just the beginning and not the end of anything. So, I would love, for them to pick up 5 of you, as interns or even proceed farther forward in this industry. I can't talk enough about it. You obviously see that with, how I teach, how I talk about, this industry and what we do. Um, it's powerful. It is something that, it's still, like I said, it's not in its infancy anymore, but it's still beginning. I mean, and there's opportunity here. And it's fun. Like, it's way more fun than just, crunching numbers all day or handling paperwork. I mean,
It is.
I get to design stuff all day. I get to be creative. I get to figure out and solve problems.
Do you think AI can take out the human factor in this industry?
No,
No?
no, not. I mean, not at this point in the game. The problem is AI is really, really good for a singular task. It's really bad at trying to connect all of them together and actually make something that's a quality product. You can't take that. doesn't know all the codes. Yes, it can look for it. It can learn it, but it's not there yet, and I don't see these jobs ever being taken by AI. I mean, maybe some type of a job of, a dimensioning or a detailing, type of stuff, but they're not going to be able to model the way that we do. It's just not going to happen. So,
Well, that's good to know.
yeah, I don't see it anyways. I mean, and it's I wouldn't be in this industry still if I thought AI was going to take it. I'd just join my AI army but no, I don't think it's I use AI all day to help me with things. I use ChatGTP and we've got a pro account for stuff. We make it run calculations on panel schedules and voltage drop. It's great at all that. It can't coordinate. It can do simple tasks for you that could take you a really long time to do. It's not going to be able to model for you. So, not yet.
All right. Well, it's
2030 someone might change my mind, but not
doing
yet.
a lot more I ever thought it would.
Oh, absolutely. No, it is. And it's very powerful software. I mean, it's incredible and the learning capabilities are huge. Um, the problem is it just doesn't have that human interface. It doesn't have like construction companies aren't just going to let a robot build it for you. It's not going to happen. So,
Okay. Well, thanks for the class. That was a great class.
cool. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, it was a privilege to have them reach out last week and, try to shed some light on what's really around here and, provide some opportunities that I've never seen, provided before. It's like I said, it's not like it's impossible to get into this industry, but you gotta want it and you've gotta like pursue it on your own. No one's reaching out to you. This is kind of a rare thing. Um, so that's all I got.
I appreciate it.
Anybody else got anything before we adjourn tonight? I appreciate the interest in the conversation in class. It was great to, bring them in and then have students asking the right questions,
So,
ask things that spark their interest too.
so I do have a question just to double check.
Yeah.
Do you need to save or auto save?
This,
Yeah.
always save it. It
Okay,
auto
that's what
saves for you.
I brought it up for that reason.
It auto saves. So if I close this right now,
yeah,
it's gonna ask me, do you want to save?
yeah.
Okay. But the autosave is there, it's happening, but yes, still save your work like anything else.
Oh yeah. Just
Absolutely.
it
Now, if I
brought
click
it up because I've done it a bunch of times to shut it down.
okay, yeah, no. So I'll typically save. So if I hit Control S and I save real quick, or I go up to File Save, and then I hit this close button, it's
Yeah,
not going to give me an error because the most recent thing was saved. If you hit that close button and you've done any work since your last save, it should prompt you to save, and obviously go ahead and do so.
cool. Uh Sorry, laughed because there's people in here too that you can put in.
Oh, there's everything. You've got a whole entourage. Oh yeah. If you want, I'll load you guys up an R2D2 or a C3PO or a AT Walker. I mean, whatever you want. I've got them all. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
The iconic stuff is always good.
It's great. I always used to hide R2D2 in an electric room somewhere and wait till someone found him and called me and said, "Hey, I found your R2." It's like, "Yep." That was fun. And then I'd move him somewhere else and
Well, they have to pay attention in order to find them.
exactly. You got to be on top of it in order to find him, especially if he's a moving target. So, all right. Like I said, all these people in this industry, we like to have a good time too. Like there's a few sticklers that are just, yeah, whatever, but it's a pretty fun industry to be in. It's serious work, but you got to be lighthearted a little bit when you're doing all this. I mean, we get so much thrown at us that if you don't, take it with a grain of salt and you just laugh off the issue and okay, we'll figure this one out now, like you'll be frustrated for days. So, But I think it's a cool opportunity, and if I was in this situation and I wasn't where I'm at now, I'd definitely be looking to try to pursue something. Because again, most things are 3 to 5 years of experience is what they want before you can even like have a interview because your resume just doesn't show enough. And that's
Have a good one. See you next week.
yeah. You too. All right, I'm gonna be done. We'll see you guys all next week. And
Thank you, Graham.
thank you guys. Have a great evening. I'll
Yeah,
go
see
ahead
you
and
next week.
I'll post this video right after class or as soon as it finishes loading. So it's always should be posted right in that module by the next day.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You know.